Hey there! This video is presented in an audiobook format. Sit back, relax, and enjoy. Have you ever walked away from a conversation, smiling on the outside, but boiling with regret on the inside? You agreed to do something, again, even though you were tired, overwhelmed, and honestly you just didn't want to. But saying no? That felt wrong, selfish, scary. Almost like letting someone down would make you a bad person. So you smiled, you said yes, and once again, your own needs took the back seat. If this is hitting close to home, take a breath. You're not alone. There's a name for this behavior. There's a reason it keeps happening. And, most importantly, there's a way out. Let's talk about the quiet, exhausting cycle called people-pleasing. Let's start with Claire. Claire was dependable, helpful, the kind of friend everyone could count on. She was the listener, the fixer, the one who always understood. At work, she picked up the slack. At home, she made peace. With friends, she said yes to plans, favors, and late-night emotional rescues, no matter how drained she was. And for a while, she thought this made her a good person. But the truth? Claire wasn't thriving. She was quietly unraveling. She realized it one night after yet another emergency visit from a friend. She had nodded along, offered tea, reassured them, stayed up way too late again. And when they left, grateful and relieved, Claire sat down and cried. She wasn't sad. She was empty. That night, Claire asked herself a question she'd been avoiding for years. Why do I keep betraying myself just to make other people comfortable? This is where the psychology comes in. People-pleasing might look like kindness, but it often stems from fear. Psychologists identify it as part of the Fawn response, one of the lesser-known trauma reactions. We've all heard of fight or flight, but there's also freeze and fawn. Fawning is what happens when, instead of confronting conflict or escaping it, you try to appease it. You shrink, you mold, you adapt just to stay safe or accepted, and often it starts young. According to Psych Central, many people pleasers grew up in environments where love was conditional. If you were quiet, polite, helpful, obedient, you were praised. But if you had needs, emotions, boundaries, you were criticized, ignored, or made to feel guilty. So you learned to perform, to earn love instead of receive it freely. Here's what makes people-pleasing so tricky. It hides behind socially rewarded behavior. You're kind, you're generous, you're the one who remembers birthdays and stays late and just wants everyone to get along. But deep down there's a quiet, gnawing fear. If I say no, they won't like me. If I set a boundary, I'll be seen as difficult. If I stop giving, what if no one sticks around? You become a master of emotional shape-shifting, and it works until it doesn't. Because over time, something happens. You start to lose track of who you are. You say, "It's fine," so often that you forget what not fine even feels like. You're surrounded by people and still feel unseen. You're giving everything and getting crumbs in return. Claire described this perfectly in her essay. I kept thinking I was generous, but the truth was, I was terrified of not being needed. Claire's breaking point came during therapy. Her therapist asked, "What's the worst thing that would happen if someone was disappointed in you?" She paused and realized she didn't have an answer, because she had never let it happen. She had made disappointment her enemy. She had made discomfort her personal alarm bell. She had made self-neglect her personality. But what if she tried something different? So she did. She declined a favor, no excuse, no apology. She left a group chat that stressed her out. She said, "I don't have space for this right now," to someone who always took. And guess what? Some people respected her more. Some people pulled away. But she felt lighter. She felt real. Breaking the people-pleasing cycle doesn't mean becoming cold or rude. It means becoming honest. It means letting go of the version of you that was always agreeable. so the version of you that is authentic can finally breathe. Like the article in Clear Yo Mind says, people-pleasing is a self-preservation habit disguised as generosity. So here's the truth. You can say no and still be kind. You can disappoint someone and still be lovable. You can stop over-explaining and over-apologizing and still be enough. Healing starts with tiny acts of rebellion, not dramatic ones. Just quiet, powerful moments where you choose yourself. So maybe you're not Claire, but maybe you're the coworker who takes on extra shifts just to avoid conflict. The partner who says, "I'm fine," when you're anything but. The friend who listens to everyone else, but doesn't feel heard. If that's you, ask yourself, when was the last time I did something just because I wanted to? When was the last time I said no and didn't explain it? When was the last time I put my comfort first without guilt? Here's your permission slip. You do not have to earn your worth. You do not have to twist yourself into someone else's idea of lovable, and you do not owe everyone access to you. So this week, try this. Say no to one thing that drains you. Pause before saying yes. Write down one boundary you wish you had the courage to set. Then set it. If this resonated, drop a comment. Tell me where you see yourself in this story, or just type "me" if it's too hard to put into words. And if you know someone who needs to hear this, send it to them, because some of us are tired of performing. We're ready to come home to ourselves. If this hit home and you're starting to see how deep this pattern runs, I've actually explored where that voice comes from in a previous video. It's a story about self-judgment, trauma, and learning to treat yourself with the same compassion you give to everyone else. Go watch that next if you're ready to dig even deeper.